Hello everyone, welcome to my The Way Home official channel. I hope everyone is having a great day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Way Home, a Hallmark production, is a time travel mystery and family drama centered on the three generations of the Landry women, Alice, Kat, and Dell. Following a devastating event in the Landry household, Kat moved out of Canada and settled with her family in Minnesota as a result of the gulf that was established between Dell and her daughter. However, one day Kat received a letter from Dell pleading with them to return, so she and her daughter Alice quickly left for Canada. Along with Alice, Kat embarked on a quest to unearth a crucial piece of knowledge regarding their background. The Landry women utilized a mysterious pond on their property to travel back in time and solve family secrets. This pond turned out to be a portal to several eras. Storyline overview. In the series, what happens? With a woman rushing into the woods while being pursued by several enigmatic characters, the series debuted in 1814. The woman managed to get away from them, and upon reaching a pond, dove into the water to escape certain death. But she vanished under the waves as soon as she jumped. Reporter Kat Landry was married to childhood buddy Brady Dorwan, but the couple was about to file for divorce. Alice, Kat's spoiled little adolescent daughter, was unable to comprehend that her parents were divorcing. After making a stir at school, she was expelled, but rather feeling bad about her decision, she held a party at her house. The impact on Kat and Alice's relationship was equal to that on Kat and her mother's connection. However, Kat desired to repair her bond with Alice. Kat was worried when she got a letter from Dell one day urging her to return. Kat made the decision to take her daughter and head back to her hometown because Brady had moved out of the house. Alice wanted to stay with her father and had no interest in moving in with her grandma or the Landrys, but Kat wouldn't let her daughter leave her sight. Alice was bored to tears, while Kat and Dell attempted to reconcile and move past their past disagreements. But when Kat confronted her mother, bringing up the letter, which was the only reason she had returned home, Dell denied having written her a letter. That letter was sent by someone from the past, not Dell, to her daughter. As Alice started to look about, she came across the Landry's pond. She flung her bracelet in violently and then instantly regretted it. She stumbled into the water when she leaned over the pond to retrieve it. Alice was rescued shortly after by a teenage female, who she later identified as her mother, Kat. Despite being shocked, Alice said nothing and returned to Kat's home, where she discovered a young Dell and her still-living husband, Colton. Alice had traveled back in time to 1999, the year Kat's brother Jacob vanished. Alice came to understand the Landry family's previous dynamic prior to Jacob's untimely demise. In the meantime, Kat's childhood best buddy Elliot is introduced to us back in the current timeline when he came to meet her. Kat was unable to concentrate on anything until her daughter came home, since Alice was in a separate timeline. Elliot reassured her that her daughter will return when she expressed her concerns. How did Colton pass away? Alice cherished the 1990s as she gradually grew close to teenage Kat, a buddy of the same age. Alice befriended not just Kat, but also Elliot, Nick, and Brady, Kat's childhood pals. While Alice was there, she also kissed Nick and fell in love with him. Alice was aware that she would eventually have to return to the present, therefore she could not maintain her relationship with Nick. After a year, the family was extremely hurt by Jacob's disappearance. Colton, Kat's father, started going to a group mourning session without telling Dell about it in an attempt to move over the painful past and move on with his life. Dell started to have doubts about Colton and believed that he might be seeing someone else. Alice, meantime, struggled with the decision of staying in the past or going back to the present. She had been losing out on her current lifestyle, so she made the decision to move on from the past and embrace the present. Kat made the decision to go back in time. Using the enchanted pond, she traveled to 2000 and encountered her father, Colton, who was still living. But in 2000, a year after Jacob vanished, Colton also perished in an accident. Thinking that she might alter her father's fate by stopping the disaster, Kat actually contributed to it instead of stopping it. Kat disregarded Elliot's advice to avoid making the mistake of traveling back in time and instead went back to the year 2000. She reached the location where her father's truck had gone off the road. Alice went to the same location as her mother, but even there, they were unable to stop the disaster. As Colton attempted to divert his truck to save Kat and Alice's lives as they were traveling on that road near his house, the vehicle smashed squarely into the swimming pool. Alice and Kat saw Colton's lifeless body right in front of them. How was Jacob taken away? Kat and Alice were able to come to terms with the truth that they were the cause of Colton's death and go on with their grief. For Kat, it was a lesson in moving forward and not dwelling on the past. Kat made the decision to move on from her past and live her life. Despite the fact that her divorce from Brady was finalized, she was unable to reconcile with Elliot because neither of them was certain about it. They were a touch too near to one another at times, but they were afraid to take things further. It dawned on Kat one day that the ball Finn, their pet dog, was playing with in the woods was the same ball that Jacob had been playing with the night he vanished. Kat started to recall every detail of the evening that Jacob vanished. She recalled that while Jacob was preoccupied with Finn darting into the woods, she was discussing the stars with her brother. Finn ended up diving into the river, while Jacob rushed after their dog to get him. Jacob dove into the water to save his dog as well, but he entered a new timeline via the enchanted pond. Kat had pursued her brother, but she was unable to locate him. She simply returned home with her dog and informed her parents of Jacob's absence. Kat was able to recall every detail and came to the conclusion that her brother had been transported to another timeline by the pond. She would therefore have to travel back in time to locate her brother. After the first season of The Way Home concluded, we were transported back to the 19th century and witnessed the woman, who had been pursued by some enigmatic characters earlier, arrive by the pond. It became clear that this woman was Kat, dressed in a long white gown. She made a commitment to return for Jacob and addressed him before diving into the ocean. The Way Home's first season concluded with the prospect that Kat would go back in time to 1814 in order to eliminate this pond's existence, which will subsequently stop Jacob from going missing. There will be a lot of time travel in the next season, so we'll simply need to wait for Kat to find Jacob in a different timeline. The mystery that has hung over The Way Home for the whole season was solved in the Season 1 finale. However, the Hallmark Channel program raises additional concerns about what might happen to Kat and the other Laundry women after finally disclosing what happened to Jacob the night he vanished in 1999. In the season finale of The Way Home, Remy Smith plays Jacob, who is lost in time. The Way Home's season finale was full of significant moments. Kat's identity as the other woman at her father's funeral was verified by the episode. Additionally, Elliot abruptly ended his relationship with Kat, but Jacob was the subject of the largest and most eagerly awaited revelation in the season finale of The Way Home. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.